Back on Inside Tennessee, we're talking to two candidates, a Democrat and a Republican for Knox County District 11. It is a seat that covers the entire county, as we pointed out in the first part of our conversation, John.
Vivian and Kim, before the break, we asked you what your number one issues were. And Kim, you said infrastructure, most pressing right now. I would certainly agree with you as somebody who drives around this county, notes, having lived here more than 20 years, kind of the increase in volume in traffic, the demand on services. I sometimes think back to my day living in Atlanta thinking, wow, this was a place that couldn't catch up to its own growth. I hope it doesn't happen here. But let's talk more specifically about what you, if you're elected as a county commissioner, would do specifically to address infrastructure needs for Knox County.
Sure. You know, this is something I'm very passionate about. I've spent the last 7 years really advocating for intentional, responsible growth with coordinated infrastructure. And that sounds a lot easier than it is. But in that, we've had dozens of conversations with local officials, county departments, and you know, we really advocated to update our plans. We have not been making well-informed decisions, and we have not been considering the long-term impact of those decisions, both physically and economically, on our county. And so what you're seeing is the Advanced Knox initiative that we just launched recently. I am a member of the advisory committee, but what that will do is provide a long-range vision and policy framework for growth and development in Knox County. This is the first time this has ever been done. It's something we have been promoting and advocating and asking for support. It will take into consideration our transportation network. It will take into consideration development projects and the impacts that those have on our communities, including our schools, our roads, our utilities. It will give us feasibility analysis. It will give our elected officials and decision makers tools and resources that they can use to make decisions about the use of our land. In doing that, we are going to create a more sustainable path forward. Then the next step is actually updating our general plan and our subdivision regs and our zoning ordinances that are very much outdated. And so there's a plan in place, and I'm so excited about it. It's something that I've been passionate for. It's something I've been working for so long, and it impacts so many things in our community. And I'm really excited. I want to see this through. I want to get it implemented, and I want to give our decision makers and our county staff members the tools and the resources they need to get us on the right path. And I think this will do it.
Kim Frazier laying that out in 2 minutes. I'm going to give you a chance to respond, Ms. Shipe, about infrastructure, and then we'll dive into mental health that you said is your most important topic facing the county. What do you think of the Advanced Knox plan and what Kim has laid out?
Well, I am in agreement that is one of the most important things that we need to look at. I had attended many of the Advanced Knox meetings. I've been to a lot of the meetings, like with Dry Hollow, Smithville, when they're talking about Bell Howell, out in Corns, all the rapid changes that are going on. Just recently been endorsed by the Sierra Club. So when you're looking at infrastructure and sustainability, they kind of go hand in hand. So when we're looking at doing all of the rapid change that we're doing, since we're number 9 in the nation where people want to move to, we got to make sure that when we are doing this building that we do no more harm. That means we've got to take care of our land, our trees, the water. We got to look at all these things as we are building out. We know there's pretty much not too much further you can go out west Knoxville. You've got a lot of building going on in south and north, and east is about the only way you can go, but that farmland is not available yet.
But so you are in support of that Advanced Knox plan? Yes.
Oh yeah, I've talked to many people. Absolutely, I'm in the.
Let's move to your issue, and that is mental health. So your chance to lay out why that is the most important issue facing the county, Ms. Shipe.
Yes, mental health affects all of the different areas in our life that we have got to deal with. As a member of the East Tennessee Mental Health Board of Directors here, and I'm on the State Pre-Arrest Diversion Committee, what we are seeing is that people are hurting. When you look at it, everybody needs mental health since COVID and even before COVID. But now you've got to look at the aspect of what does mental health entail, because it doesn't just entail those that need mental health assistance. You're talking about people who are dealing with depression. You're talking about child abuse. You're talking about elder abuse. All these things that are going hand in hand. So then when you start building, we've got to start looking at building housing. Our elders have been pushed out. So where are the elders going to live? We got to look at our aged out youth. We got to build housing for that. You have a lot of building that's going on in Mechanicsville and in Western Heights. We need to make sure we're building stuff that is interconnected, where the young and the old are together. We need to make sure that we have enough health counselors in the schools. So that deals with education. There's not enough counselors right now in the schools. So when we go forward, we need to aggressively recruit. Just like we recruit for the Vols, we need to aggressively recruit our teachers and our counselors. So you got to take into effect the amount that we need for education. So this is why I say that when you're dealing with mental health, you got to make sure that those branches are we answer all those different questions, because until we deal with mental health, we haven't dealt with what we need in the county, and we haven't seen the results from COVID. Or we'll only see those within the next 10 to 12 years, the results on our children of what the effect has been.
Okay.
So let's get on mental health.
Mental health. Let's stay on that subject. Kim, I'm going to give you a minute to respond to what Ms. Shipe has laid out and your thoughts, Ms. Frazier, on mental health and what county leaders could and should do about it.
Well, I think every family in Knox County has been touched by mental health or substance misuse in some way. I see that specifically with our student population right now, serving on the advisory council. When I was in healthcare, one thing that I worked to accomplish was being able to provide healthcare services to our students within our schools and do third-party billing. So it wasn't coming out of our educational budgets, but we were using the resources that the students had through TennCare. I've worked closely and had several conversations with our Director of Community Development in Knox County. They've got a lot of things in motion. This is something that, a lot of the relief funds, we're going to be able to do a lot of things that we haven't been able to do. One thing that we need to look at is more inpatient care. We can't get outpatient providers. That's another factor that's impacting mental health, and public-private partnerships. We need to expand those. And then we need to take the services with our Department of Health, and we need to expand our reach, and we need to get out into the populations that need those services the most. And as a county commissioner, I will advocate for that, and I will be a champion for mental health. I sure will.
We're going to be back with more of our conversation with Kim Frazier and Vivian Shipe right after this on Inside Tennessee.